Today, I'll be talking about where I think JT Realmuto could end up this offseason. What's up, guys? It's Tom here. With the Mets signing James McCann and the Mets being the frontrunner to sign JT Realmuto, where in the world is JT Realmuto going to sign with now? The Phillies seem as if they aren't willing to spend the money on him. They've said that they're out of money, and then the Mets were obviously the frontrunner, a great fit for him, but they signed James McCann. So today, I have a few teams that I will spitball out there and make a case for why JT Realmuto would be a great fit with them. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more baseball content. I'll definitely be making a video whenever JT Realmuto gets signed to a team. In the comments, let me know where you guys think JT Realmuto could end up. And with that being said, let's get into the video. The first one is the most obvious one, and that's the Philadelphia Phillies. They've said they don't have the money to sign him, and I think they should have gotten an extension done earlier with JT Realmuto. But with the Mets signing a different catcher, it seems that the Phillies have become a front runner in the JT Realmuto race. They do have the cap space to sign him to a $20 million plus deal. I mean, they won't be going over the luxury tax threshold, but it just comes down to what the owners are willing to spend this offseason. JT has played there for a couple of years now, and he seems to like the Phillies unless there's news saying otherwise. The Phillies also need him badly because they don't have any in-house replacement for JT Realmuto, and even going out and signing a different free agent, it's very difficult to replace a caliber of a player like JT Realmuto. So I think the Phillies are definitely a front runner in the JT Realmuto race. Moving on, we got the Washington Nationals. The Nationals need to find someone to pair with Juan Soto and Trey Turner in their lineup, and JT Realmuto would be a great fit because they also need an upgrade at that catcher position. Next year, they have Max Scherzer coming off the books, so that'll be $34 million coming off the books, and all their money is tied up in Steven Strasburg and Patrick Corbin. And I don't think pitching will be an issue for them coming up through their ranks because all of their top 10 prospects are pitchers. So I think if you can get JT Realmuto to a deal, I think the Nationals should definitely do so. Let's sprinkle in a surprising pick or a wild pick right here. This one I saw on an article on MLB.com. This one threw me for a loop a little bit, but they suggested that the Detroit Tigers could be in the mix for JT Realmuto. I mean, it makes sense because they got a bunch of young pitchers coming up in their ranks, and having a veteran catcher to lead them would definitely be beneficial. Payroll wise, they only have Miguel Cabrera on the books. Basically, they're paying him just about $30 million a year for the next couple of years. So money wise, they are definitely flexible. The Tigers still aren't contenders, but if the Tigers give Realmuto a deal that's better than any other team, that'd be huge because Realmuto is definitely a guy you want to build your franchise around, and it would definitely be an immediate upgrade to the catcher position in Detroit. So if this deal gets done, it would be a crazy story this offseason. Another wild team that Realmuto could go to is the Los Angeles Angels. This one is hilarious because just for the fact that I could totally see the Angels doing this, just putting all their marbles in something other than pitching. And that's strictly the only reason why I have them on here, because I feel like that'd be something the Angels would definitely do. But this offseason, they've definitely made some moves in their bullpen, so they're going in the right direction by improving their pitching, and I think they'll land a starter instead of a guy like JT Realmuto, but it's definitely a Hail Mary to toss out there. I mean, JT Realmuto, it would definitely help out their team, but I don't think it's the necessary upgrade for the Angels. For my last team today, I'll be talking about more of a serious one, and that's the New York Yankees. Obviously, the New York Yankees are big spenders every offseason. They signed Garrett Cole last season to a massive deal. Because of that, they're linked to just about every big free agent. Payroll-wise, though, they will be pretty tight on money. They are estimated to be just about at that luxury tax threshold right now. They need to re-sign DJ LeMahieu, so I think they'll be going over the luxury tax threshold, but that's not an issue for the Yankees because since 2003, the only year that they did not pay the luxury tax was in 2018. And talking about money, the Yankees are still paying Jacoby Ellsbury this year, $26 million. So next year that'll be coming off the books. So long term, they'll have some money to throw around to some big name guys going forward. Now let's talk about the fit of JT Realmuto in that lineup and on the field for the Yankees. This is interesting because they obviously have Gary Sanchez, right? He has the potential to be a great slugger in this league, and he's proven it in past seasons, but this year he did not do great. And if the Yankees are thinking about moving forward, they could definitely sign a guy like Realmuto. It'd be an immediate upgrade in the field and definitely more consistency on the offensive side of the ball. They could move Sanchez to a DH backup catcher type role and see how it plays out, or use him as a trade piece. And this is where it gets interesting because I think their top priority is to re-sign DJ LeMahieu. But right now, I guess the figures aren't really adding up. Both sides are spitting different numbers at each other, and I don't know if they're going to get a deal done. But if they don't get a deal done, you could think about signing Realmuto, move Gleyber to second, and then you get a veteran shortstop or a cheaper shortstop in free agency this year, or you go out and make a huge splash next year in the free agent market, because that shortstop class will be loaded. Another third option could be to go out and trade for a guy like Francisco Lindor and then hopefully re-sign him the next year. The Yankees have a bunch of different options at their disposal and a bunch of different ways that they can attack this offseason, so it'll definitely be fun to see what they do this year. I made this video because I was truly wondering, where is JT gonna go? Because the Mets signed a catcher and the Mets were the front runner for him. The Phillies don't have money, apparently, even though I think, in my opinion, that they are still the front runners for JT Realmuto. And then you just got a bunch of other teams that don't really want to spend money this offseason because of the pandemic. So it just seems as if a sure lock that the Mets were gonna get JT Realmuto is now no longer the case, and it's a free-for-all now for JT Realmuto, and it'll just be a matter of time before we see what happens to JT Realmuto. Thank you guys for sticking to the end of the video with me. Let me know down in the comments, are any of these teams a possible place for JT Realmuto to sign with? Or are there any other teams that you think he could potentially sign with this offseason? With that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.